It's perfectly okay to hate the version of you that you are right now. That's completely valid. But you gotta do the work to change it. It's not just gonna happen. You have to make it happen. And the best way to do that is by going out and getting information. Welcome to How to Beat You podcast. I'm your host, Jarrell Henry, and this is the place where we grow together. You can stay up to date with all things How to Beat You on all our socials or my personal socials at Jarrell.Henry. You have to show up. You have to make a habit of showing up to learn every single day. If you really want to become better, if you really are so sick and tired of being sick and tired that you don't know what you're going to do, you got to actually do what's necessary. And a lot of times you might not have the information of what is necessary, but it's your job to go get that information. Like, I remember back in 2020, I was staying on the couch in my brother's apartment and I was going through it. Like, I was just leaving college and I was working, trying to save up for an apartment, but nothing was working out. I was pissing off everybody in the house because I kept doing young, stupid shit, but I was young and ignorant. And I just got so sick and tired of myself. I got tired of getting in my own way. I got tired of making excuses. And I started getting scared that, like, if I didn't do anything, I would be like that for the rest of my life. And you might be in a similar situation, but one of the things that saved me out that situation was for high school graduation, I got a book as a graduation gift, and it was called How Successful People Grow. And I wasn't really a reader at that time. I wasn't a reader at all. It was fuck them books for real. I ain't even gonna lie. But I was just so sick and I wanted to be better, but I didn't know how. And I remember looking down and it just was on the table, like right in front of me. So I picked it up and started reading it and was applying the things I learned from it. And that partnered with some of the things I learned afterwards changed my life completely. And that same thing can happen for you. And that's what this episode is about. You can grow. You can get out of this phase. You can love yourself. You can learn how to love yourself. You can learn how to heal. You can learn how to build. You can learn how to make money. All of these are just skills that you probably don't have the knowledge for. I wasn't granted these skills as a child. There was nobody who could teach me how to love myself because everybody was trying to figure that shit out. There was nobody that could teach me how to be nice to myself. Nobody I knew how to do that. Like, I learned these skills from books and TED Talks and YouTube and all these things. And that freed me. That changed my life. And I want you to choose to change your life. You're only one piece of information away from a complete different lifestyle. So go get it. You have to, if you really want this shit, you need to make time of learning every day. Make time to show up and learn something. And I don't care what way you do that. There are so many different outlets that you can learn nowadays. You can look stuff up on TikTok, Google, YouTube. There's books, there's podcasts, there's blogs, there's just articles. You can get to information if you want to, even if you fill up your timeline with information that's useful. You can do that. That's very doable. But you have to choose to do it. That shit don't just happen. That shit don't just, it's not just magic. It's not going to just pop up. It might, but you can build that. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to use everything that you have just in your cell phone or in your house. And to be real, it don't take a lot of information. Like I said, one piece of information can change your life. You just have to look up the question you have and find the resources from there. Or a lot of times it doesn't even come to that. A lot of times it's about you're not applying what you know. You probably know how to better your situation. You probably know what you're doing wrong. You probably know what you don't deserve, but you're not acting. It's all about action. If you aren't making action, you will not change. I don't care how much information you get. I don't care if you go to the library and read the whole shit. If you aren't making action, you just wasted time. Well, not. It's like 50-50. It's knowledge is important, but knowledge is nothing without action. And that's what it come down to. And for a lot of shit, I don't want you to feel like you can't learn if you're not in school or anything. I dropped out of college. That's fine. And I don't have a plan of going back at this moment. I don't need it. A lot of people don't need it. Unless you're trying to be a nurse or a doctor or an accountant or judge, like there are specific situations and jobs that you need college. And for those, go to college. I'm not going to tell you not to go to college. Even if you get that feeling in your soul, like maybe I do need to be in college, and it just keep coming back and back. Give it a chance, because that might change your life. My brother, my oldest brother, he dropped out of college, and he was out of college like 8-9 years just working, just hustling, seeing some level of success, but he couldn't get over the hump that he wanted to. And he decided at the beginning of this year that he wanted to go back to school. So he went back to school, and he about to graduate. Now he about to be out of there. And he got accepted into graduate school. And a few years ago, that was not in his plans whatsoever. But that's what he wanted to do IT. So for what he wanted to do, that was the route. And that was what he needed. And it's changed his life. So don't be so caught up in your ego that you choose not to change your life, because it's doable. And even if you don't want to go back to school, that's fine. Like I said, there's so many resources. I own too many damn books because I like books. I like to read. I did not 4 years ago, but learning some of this information just changed me so much that now I love it. Now it brings me joy. It brings me happiness. And it helps me become the me that I want to be. And that's what I want for you. I want you to become the you that you want to be. But you got to show up for you. If you're not going to show up for you, how can you expect anybody else to? If you're not happy in your situation, if you hate yourself or just hate the situation you in, you got to do what it takes to change that. It's great to pray. It's great to lean on people and try your best, but sometimes the problem isn't that you aren't trying your best. It's that you're not applying that effort to the right actions. You can try your best at playing the guitar, but if you want to be a singer, that's not really, there is a place where it meshes. And a lot of times with information, it all meshes. I might learn something in a psychology book and something in a sports book, and they come together and change, and it just makes a web. It's all about a web. But then again, focus on what you trying to improve. Focus on what skill that you need and show up for that. Give your all in that. And like I said, there might be a time where everything come together and it all, but You got to make the time to change your life. You got to make the effort to change your life. It's just a muscle. At first, reading wasn't fun, but it changed my life. So now it's kind of fun. Now I enjoy it. Now it brings me happy. Just like anything else. It's a developed skill that you can learn, but you have to choose to learn. You don't have to stay in this situation. You don't have to continue breaking your heart every day by letting yourself down. And like I said, these are feelings that I know very, 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 very deeply because I was doing it to myself. But you don't have to live that way. I don't want that for you. And I know you don't want that for you. And the people you love don't want that for you. You have to change your life. And I think one of the greatest way to do that is go and get the information to help you do so. You can learn anything. They are banning books for a fucking reason. This is not for fun. Slaves wasn't allowed to read for a reason. Because it can completely change everything. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired and you need things to change, go get the information. Go be intentional with your learning and apply the shit that you actually learn. Because that's how you change your life. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jarrell Henry. This is How to Beat You Podcast. You can stay up to date with all things How to Beat You Podcast at all our socials, How to Beat You Podcast, or my personal socials, Jarrell.Henry. I love you and know you can change your life. Thank you.